What's going on, y'all? It's Jason Reviews here, back at it again with another video. Getting back, like I said, to the little creative series here, more stuff specifically based on volume. And today I'm bringing you guys the top 5, my personal picks for the top 5 volume battles of all time. My favorite series on URL, very transparent about that. I think the volume like setting, not just small room, but particularly the way they shoot volumes and set them up, volumes 1 through 5, is the most conducive of producing great battles and great performances. You get classics. You get just amazing. If you're a fan of someone and they end up getting on the volume, you usually just get a very good performance from them. I think the crowd reaction with just staff is great. They kind of know when to jump and how to add to the footage rather than a crowd being the footage, which is kind of a problem in bigger stages. So there's so many things I love about the volume. So naturally, I wanted to highlight some of my favorite battles ever, from the volume series and rank them. In terms of it, quality is going to be the biggest thing, back and forth when we talk about the top battles. So there might be great performances that just missed the list. We'll have honorable mentions as per usual right before we get into the list. But, if the more back and forth and obviously as high of level as either battler can be, the higher it's going to be up on my list. Those are the things I really like to base it off of. But without further ado, usual format, we're going to start off with the honorable mentions, couple battles that just missed the list, and then we will crack the top 5. So we can, hopping right into the honorable mentions, first battle I want to mention is Verb versus New Jersey Twerk. Happened on Volume 2. Very dope battle. I remember this was the Strapped In versus Showtime when it was booked, which I thought was always a cool little marketing thing, and it was announced later, and it ended up being a very entertaining battle. Obviously, Twerk's third, in my opinion, is probably the best round of Twerk's career. Really incredible. Kind of had a comeback performance, because his first, he chokes, or at least cuts it, ridiculously short to the point that it might as well have been a choke. Then his second round is good. His third is great. And as for Verb dominantly takes that first, not just because of the choke, but because Verb actually had a good first. Volumes have always kind of helped Verb. Obviously, this has kind of been the setting that if we are going to get a good Verb performance, it's usually going to come on a volume series, and even that is hit or miss. But for the most part, he gives you battles like this, where his second, albeit short, is also really good. I grew to appreciate it, and he really had no chance in that third. So, not mad at him. I think to the consensus, it really is debatable. It just plays to two completely different sides of rap. To me, I've always thought Twerk kind of clearly took the second and the third, but I will say as time went on, I can see the grown man talk and a little bit of Verb actually rapping more fluid. Why? Maybe in the second round, there's an argument for that. I get out from behind the bars. I surf something. I don't know. There's just, there's details I've come to appreciate Verb more. I still had Twerk winning the battle, but it has to be in the honorable mentions. Obviously when you have an incomplete first round and then the third is just a whatever angle by Verb, there's great peaks, but not great enough to make the list. From there, Chilla Jones versus B-Dot. It's a battle that I like, and a couple other battles that are going to be like this in this list. Those champion of the year deciding type of battles that make it at the end of the year. Those of you know that volume is now taking place, and pretty much almost always at the end of the year. And since champion of the years gets cooking up around that time, if there's two contestants that haven't battled yet, very high up there in contenders, they'll match them up. And on volume 6, they matched up Chilla and B-Dot. Another battle that didn't make it because there is a choke. Obviously, B-Dot chokes in the second round, but B-Dot takes the first, almost cinematically smokes the first, then he chokes in the second. We're like, oh my God, he looked like he was going to win clear, and he choked in the second. Chilla has a good second on top of that, and then Chilla's third, the God complex, and bringing 3 rounds of material into one, something that he tried to do versus B-Magic in a way, if y'all remember back in the day, on a wordplay basis, and he choked. That too big of a concept to try to pull a point from all 3 rounds and bring it into the third for one overarching thing, but he does it angling here versus B-Dot. I thought it was masterful. While B-Dot had a good third, I had Chilla clearly winning this battle. Famously, B-Dot went on camera after and said that he lost the battle. And just when you take into the fact, this is probably the battle of one Chilla Jones champion of the year. You get 2 very good versions of 2 of the absolute best small room battlers of all time. Just so many things to praise. And as for the last 2 honorable mentions, Rum Nitty versus Twerk, which we all know was on its way to easily making the list. But, due to the fighting, Twerk dropping a name, not realizing, obviously that Rum's mother had passed in that, that time, and condolences, obviously, always to her. But yeah, when you look at this battle, the first and second rounds are great. The first rounds for both are great. Rum Nitty second. Even the content they got with their energy down was great. It's just a shame it never fully finished with all the energy. So it has to be an honorable mention. And lastly, DNA versus Mickey Fax. Mickey Fax is a little bit underrated in this battle. Obviously, the story here is DNA's performance, one of the best performances in the volume series. If I did a top 5 performances, probably makes the list, and I might do that. So we'll see if we talk more about DNA versus Mickey Fax in the soon future. But DNA's third, incredible. The writing from both, even though obviously DNA was a level above Mickey. Mickey was okay, had a pretty decent third, and that's why it comes in as my last honorable mention. And without further ado, let's get right into the top 5 battles. So, the first battle we want to talk about at number 5, we have K-Shine versus Geechee Gotti. Very similar to the example we gave of Chilla Jones versus B-Dot in the honorable mentions. K-Shine versus Geechee was that first example of champion of the year type of deciding battle factor on the volume. Obviously, 2018, both of these guys were high up in the rankings. So this got booked here, kind of that tension built up, and now it's kind of become an annual thing that happens, if possible, with the volume series. And really, this is prime, run K-Shine, a run that very, very impressive, and it was a run. Was a little bit overrated. Yes, might do a video on that one day. Not losing around and things were crazy, but I want people to understand that this was still amazing. This is still prime shine. Just because some people dramatized it does not mean that it still wasn't a fantastic run. And even he is very, very good in this battle. But and Geechee was very good as well. Really a close battle, a debatable battle. But we all know that the funny part around this is the gas, the NWX gas, which was probably one of the more violent and obvious real gas battles that I can think of really in history. People will claim it for everything. Fans will call everything gas or complain about the crowd here and there. But this is one of those few universal times where everyone was like, all right, like, come on now. But even with that, I thought Shine's first is very, very, very good, even though they reacted, like we said, like 4 words into his first. But he is a very, very good first round. Geechee responds with a good first, obviously with less reaction. But I actually always edge Shine the first this battle. I really think it is as good as advertised. The second is close. This is the one where on camera, obviously, there's the 180. People are like, oh no, this is a very, very close second, as opposed to a building that probably would have told you Shine lost. For me personally, I edge Geechee the second round. The food coloring bars, obviously, a well-known haymaker from him. Had Vince Staples, all types of celebrities checking in. One of those first real superstar moments for me, Geechee Gotti, versus another just heavy, a legend in the top tier, and having a round like that, making it debatable in a room that's clearly against you. So I had him edging the second. I had him clearly winning the third. This is real talk Gotti around this time, and his third round is just, it's magnificent, along a long list of magnificent third rounds from Geechee Gotti. So for those reasons, personally, I had Geechee winning, kind of reflects in the Champion of the Year results that year. But a great battle, a great competitive showing from both, and that's why it comes in at number 5. Then, coming in at number 4, we have a battle from Volume 5, a volume that I also think is one of the better volumes of all time. Very, very good volume. And this battle would be Rum Nitty versus Chilla Jones. First appearance, real pen-heavy appearance here in the top 5. Obviously, Shine and Geechee's really a performative kind of street talk battle, which just goes to show the range of volumes. It's best for pure rappers. It's best for bar guys. It does really good with, like, really gritty aggression. So, best setting in battle rap, in my opinion. Always will be. But Rum Nitty versus Chilla Jones, absolute bar fest, incredible battle. 2 of the best small, as I said about Chilla and B-Dot, you could say here with Chilla and Rum Nitty, 2 of the best small room battlers of all time, just going at it near peak. A battle that I won't say is nearly as dramatic, but one where, the crowd was definitely kind of against one. Obviously, Rum Nitty, I think what it is Rum Nitty got reception that he deserved, but I think that it took a little time for the crowd to, give Chilla Jones some of his love. And the first one, I think that shows. I think Chilla's first is better than what kind of is advertised by the crowd. Just really good pen work. With that being said, while I do think he had a great first and deserved more love for it, I did have Rum Nitty taking the first round. Probably, in my opinion, the clearest round that Nitty gets this battle, just because obviously he matches it. The Bruh Man on the 5th floor bar, which it's actually a very OBC concept, but the way he flipped it was pretty original in my opinion, which is kind of crazy to think with a bar that usually scores absolutely zero for me. And then he stopped and said, "Fuck it, I got more rounds." And then he wraps that extra, minute 30, and it just really shows the separation. Chilla responds and clearly takes the second. And Rum Nitty at a bar his second. The water break, this bitch can pop it any minute. Super duper duper haymaker, but probably lacked that type of consistency and bombs through the second. While Chilla absolutely was on his helmet. I believe that the airplane scheme that he did was in the second. Could have been the third. I could be a little bit wrong about that one. But he has I don't take shots in general. Shots will hit your colon pal. The first colon pal flip that's been done against Nitty, which now is kind of a little bit OBC. We've heard a lot of it, the general Colin Powell, but at this time, extremely, extremely creative. The first super haymaker, and Chilla clearly took the second. Battle comes down to the third. And I will say that I've always, thought that Rum Nitty did win this round. And I think it really comes down to, Chilla took some good angles, probably showed a little bit more variety in his style in the third round. But that little last, I think it's about a minute and a half clip with the air around 30, like tire pressure, air off with the mask, like sleep apnea, the comic book effect. You could see the effect when I punch. Meanwhile, he just hit so many little bars at the end of that third, just kind of chain haymaker, and I think that's the edge for me in the battle. I think it's recognized as a debatable battle. And it's just a great battle. You get two of the best pens in battle rap in a volume. What more could you ask for? Both of these gentlemen, Chilla even shows that little bit of variety that he probably has more in his style. So you get a little bit more than just the pen if that's what you come there for. To me, it's an underrated battle. If it's not a classic and considered an instant classic, it's right there in the borderline. And that's why it comes in at number 4 on the list. Then we approach number 3 on the list, and it's going to start a little bit of a volume 1 streak here. Just to let you know. And at number 3, we do have New Jersey Twerk versus JC. Now, earlier, we were talking about the Verb and Twerk battle in the honorable mentions, and I will say that something that people might disagree with, might show a little inconsistency just off rip, is that Twerk obviously does kind of pop up around in this battle. His first round is really not like, you know what I'm saying, it's not a full out choke, but we definitely saw he was starting to forget his material about 2 minutes and he cuts it. The material he got out though is pretty decent in the first. I think it's different than the first round he had versus Verb, which was pretty much a 0 on the scoreboard. JC obviously clearly takes the first round. That's another thing. I think JC's performance in this battle is just rather underrated, although, I do have the common result across the consensus that Twerk did kind of clearly win this battle. But I will say JC's material, which is, obviously when it comes to JC, it's not a shocker. His material did age well, but got a little bit all over the place. Starting from the first round, Twerk has it okay, about 215 in his first before he cuts it. And JC has a very dominant first round. He can get the faux 5, the 9, or the faux 5, simplified, all that, just the little witty lines, his aggression. Obviously, this is around that peak Lux run, so I think his delivery and the passion is there more than anything. I think sometimes that and nowadays with the slower style, he can lack some of that just like kind of evil genius feel he used to give on stage. I still think JC's great. He made sacrifices to be better on the big stage. It's really a whole other topic in its own. But at this time, this is the JC that a lot of purist JC fans love. So his first round clearly takes that. And then as for Twerk, we all know his second and his third is just some of the best material he's ever given. In terms of consistency, front to back of the round, chain haymakering, the punches, even the bar flip on the third round, because he clearly took the second. And some JC fans try to say, JC made the third, it's debatable. It is not. It is not. His third is really as good as his second. His second obviously has anybody's small intestine, the scoliosis, which I believe None had said a little bit before, but I like the way Twerk said it more. I don't think he bit it either. You know what I'm saying? So I think that was obviously a good bar that landed. The whole lead up really to the whole small intestine bar was crazy too. And in the third, little Julian should have went to Juilliard, bow. He should have saved the last dance, fire. And how can you criticize the form if you didn't see it? That bar, just one of the more impressive Twerk lines that I think just goes under the radar. Crazy. And even JC's third, he does have you put him up against the only person that wears a hood more, the Grim Reaper. The whole way he performed, that was crazy. And it's a standout. It's an iconic JC bar. I just think when you watch the round beginning to end, Twerk clearly has more in the third. So I had Twerk clearly winning the second and the third, but it's really one of the better and more complete Twerk performances. Even with cutting the first off a little bit, he gave enough where it turns out to be just one of the better Twerk performances from front to back, and you still get a very good JC, and then JC in the small room. You know what I'm saying? JC in the small room is going to reach a pretty certain level of good, especially around this time. So for Twerk to be better than that, he has to be amazing. Great back and forth, even though there was a clear winner, and that's why it comes in at number 3 on the list. And as for the last 2 battles of the list, coming in at a close runner-up is O-Red versus Briz Rothstein, another battle from the original Smack volume. It could just great. Preference classic. Preference classic, a phrase we'll be using again very soon on this list, but preference classic. We talk about O-Red. We know what O-Red is. This is Champion of the Year O-Red. This is volume O-Red. This is literally as advantageous of a situation as it can be for O-Red, and cooks up to be one of the best O-Red performances of all time. And on the flip side, Briz Rothstein, prime Briz Rothstein, you know what I'm saying? Around when he finally found his footing, he was taking top tiers all over the place. And we all know that although limited, has a pretty good resume in the volume. You know, we talk about what the murder, the massacre that he did to Mr. Wavy. And then this performance, it just goes to show Briz's versatility in different rooms and how great he is. And we all know that his style is just so unorthodox and unique. It could really fit against any other style, and this is one of those battles that's just special. The first round of this battle from both of them is special. The second round from them in both of this battle is special, and the third round is just really, really good. There's so much that you could praise for it. O-Red, kind of these obscure-ish references. I mean, if you're a real pen head, what he's doing in there is some of the best pen work you're really just going to find in the history of battle rap. And it's why it's funny because O-Red's career doesn't really lead up to some all-time great when you take across the whole catalog, including Sage, slip-ups, things of that nature. But if you really just look at his volume, body of work, you're like, yo, this is kind of one of the best guys alive. And in the small room, he is. Briz Rothstein, Jewish shooter with a beam. That's an Israelite. Crazy, man. The comedy that he gets in there. Oh, bitch is turning you down. You getting a lot of no's, Red. All of that. He brings charisma. Just, we know how great Briz Rothstein is. A battle that is so debatable. My winner changes almost every time I watch it type of stuff, which is why I'm not doing the same kind of round-for-round breakdown as I do with the others here. I think Briz's best round is the second round, so I would give that round to Briz. I would give O-Red the third round of the battle, fairly clear. This is also around, fuck that clock, Briz, which was a hilarious moment. Just goes to show how classic this battle is. And then the first, I mean, like I said, preference, 2 completely different styles, a 10 out of 10. Great battle, and it's why it is runner-up on the list. And at number one that I won't spend much time on because I have a whole other video on it on this channel, but a battle that I know you guys are familiar with and knew would be at 1, Rum Nitty versus Iron Solomon. I'm on the record saying that in my opinion, this is the best battle in battle rap history, not just from pure quality, but for very similar reasons that I said for O-Red and Briz, where you get 2 completely different styles, right? And the best way with Nitty and Solomon, yes, there's 2 different styles, although they both meet in the middle a little bit with the pen heavier side, but you get every single aspect of battle rap done at an all-time high level in here. Iron's second in this battle is some of the best angling you were ever going to see in the sport. Nitty's punching all 3 rounds is some of the best punching you were ever going to see in the sport. Iron's freestyle in the first round is some of the best freestyling you were ever going to see in the sport. His scheming in the first round is some of the best scheming you're ever going to... Like, you see what I'm talking about here is just... It's great. I even think their performance is good. More so on the Nitty side, vary with the hand motions. If you love that prime, Rum Nitty's really still in his prime now, so it's crazy to say. But if you love that early first couple years on URL, Rum Nitty, this is as peak as the performance gets. There is one clear round in this battle, in my opinion. That is the second round. While Nitty even still has a good second, has the John Legend. Crazy how they be calling people legends, but they're just ordinary people. That's crazy. Couple other bars in there, but Iron second with the Scantron. For a Rum Nitty who's seen a million, all you do is punch angles. What's funny is a lot of people bring that angle, and it doesn't really go over a lot most of the time. He punches through it. But this is one of those times, the time, where it completely shut all that down. It's like... you can't even listen just to the punches of Rum Nitty second after the substance that you hear in Iron second with the whole Scantron. You can't be the king with one subject. By far the best breakdown of Rum Nitty, in my opinion, it's ever been done. And the first and the third of this battle are just, I think most people would give Nitty the first, and it comes down to a third where both of them have haymakers. I mean, I could go on and on. I have done a flashback review. And let me know if you guys would ever want me to bring flashback reviews back. I just do reviews for old classic battles. So if you guys ever want to see that and go down the history lane, let me know down below in the comments. But I did do a full review on this bar for bar, so I'll refrain from quoting. I could damn near quote this whole battle front to back. But just incredible. We knew it was something special when we watched it. Shout out to it hitting 1 million views many, many years too late. But we still all know that the respect that this battle garners in the community. And that's why, to me, this is clearly the best battle in the Volume series. And that is my top 5 volume battles of all time. You guys let me know what you think about it down below in the comments. What battles do you think I missed? Which battles do you think I got right? What's just your personal favorite volume battle? There's so many different ones. There's like sneak little ones that I just love on the low. That don't get necessarily the super shine and recognition, but I think Nitty versus Suge is another good battle. You get a great Shotgun Suge versus Mike P. I think Verb's got his hands full, I'll just say that. But even Verb is good, man. There's just so many guys that are good in the volume. So many legends that you go back and look at that are good in the volume. So many guys that choke a lot that are good in the volume. It's just everybody seems to bring their best for this setting. It's like the most neutral ground you're going to find in battle rap. And I'm so happy that, one, that I'm going to be able to be there in Orlando and see it, which is, an incredible experience for me. And B, the fact that they're going back to the way, it was in Volume 1 through 5, because that's the volume. Respect to Volume 9. It was a good event, but that's not a volume event to me, man. It just isn't. When the stage is there, that takes away the essence of this. So I, just very much so looking forward to Volume 10 and very happy to bring you guys this. As I said, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think about the Volume series and what you're looking forward to on the upcoming volume as well. And it's been J Smo Reviews again, y'all. I'm going to catch you on the next one. Peace.